Hi Scorpios, it's Trishna and it's time for your June reading. This is for Scorpios, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Remember that energies can be mirrored. And if you're interested in a personal reading, you can find me working away in my Etsy shop at www.etsy.com/shop/psychicts. The link is also down below in the description box. I think we need one more. All right. Scorpio, what wants to come through for June? Scorpio, I'm feeling a sense of excitement. I feel it on the right side of my neck. And it feels like a bird that's flying higher, higher, and higher. But there is this concern, what if there is a net that gets thrown and pulls that bird back down? And there is a sense of, if that were to happen, I don't know that that bird would have it in them to fly up again. That bird might just give up. So it's almost like it's now or never. If this doesn't work out, I think I'm gonna give up. I think I'll take it as a sign from the universe that I'm not loved, that I have been discarded, that I'm not worthy, and that I'm meant to live in less than what I wish for. But also, I don't want to think about that. I'm trying really hard not to think about that. I can't go there in my mind even though my mind sometimes goes there on its own. But I can't think about that. I have to fly. I have to fly and I have to not think about that and I have to let go of all that baggage and I have to release it. I just need everything to be okay. I wish it could work out in the specific way that I want. Maybe that is my epic flaw. Maybe that is my Achilles heel. Maybe wanting that specific thing is what's making my life not work out. But I really want that thing. I want it so bad. Life just wouldn't be as good without it. Scorpio, I think you should ask yourself if that answer is really true. If I didn't have that specific thing, I couldn't be happy. Because Scorpio, chances are you can get that specific thing. That's what I'm feeling. But not if you think you can't be happy without it. Because see, here's the thing. The universe is constantly teaching us a few lessons. It's always teaching us about self-worth. That's just a constant cycle. But it's also teaching us to free ourselves. And it shows us, it highlights to us all the ways in which we are doing the opposite and are trapping ourselves. Now, there's some ways that we trap ourselves for years and we don't realize it because it doesn't come to light for us until, maybe 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, a decade down the road, when we realize, when suddenly it comes to the surface and we're like, oh my God, this is falling apart. And the only way for me to survive this is to detach emotionally, is to become that observer, is to stop being so dependent on it. So some things take a while. Some things we're attached to, but it's not really time for us, or we're not really ready, or it's not really pivotal for our path at that time to really notice it. But all things that we become attached to eventually must come to the surface for us to address. One day, it will show itself. And that is okay, because every single time that happens, it's almost like we're experiencing a spiritual awakening of sorts. Maybe not like full out awakening, but a smaller dose of it. And every time that happens, and we realize I'm overly attached to this and I have to learn to let go, in that letting go, we become bigger than we ever were before. And we realize, oh, wow, I'm so free. I can let go of all this burden that's been on my shoulders that I didn't even know I was carrying all this time. Our perspective changes. We open up our vision and we see the world even more for what it has to offer than before, when we were so limited in our thinking. So the original or the initial pulling apart can feel very traumatic. But if we take that lesson, if we let go, knowing that we're going to get it, but letting go at the same time, because it's like, I'm going to get it, but I'm no longer putting it on that pedestal. I'm going to get it, but I'm no longer desperate for it. When we do that, it comes to us, but when it comes to us, we can keep it. Because let's say this is a relationship and you're overly attached to a person. What if they were to come back? You'd be happy. But what would your over-attachment end up creating in the relationship? Pushing too much or asking too much, or for some of you it would be giving too much. And the other person, even if you're giving them too much, they might feel a little bit smothered. They might feel like you're giving them so much, and now do I owe the Scorpio something back? And that might feel like they're getting trapped. And so then it creates tension and another split can occur. So even though the attachment, even though you can get something, if you have that attachment, it just will not create something that's very productive. So whether or not you get that person, you're going to have to let go of that attachment at some point down the road. How do we let go of that attachment? There's a lot of different ways. I feel for you, Scorpio, this month, it will be kind of a combination. The first part is thinking about this thing that you want, that you're aiming for, that you hope will happen. Some of you may not be aiming for it. You may just be hoping it will happen, but you're trying to focus on something else. Continue to focus on something else. The first half of this is focus on something else. Find something that you enjoy, something that you love, something that excites you, to take your mind off of this thing that you so desire. The other part is send good thoughts towards whatever it is that you desire. Let's take the example of if this is love. There, obviously, if you're wanting them to come back, there are things that you appreciate about them. But obviously, if there is a break, then there are things that maybe you don't like about them, or that wasn't really working out for you. You might say, well, no, maybe the other person is the one that ended things. So they're the ones that had a problem with me. I didn't have a problem with them. But it always takes two to tango, and energy is almost always being mirrored. So if there's something they didn't like about you, then there's something you don't really like about them. And it's important to be aware of what that is, and then to flip it, or to kind of know that that's probably something that happened, but then focus on the aspects of them that you like. Because right now you're focusing on more of the negative than the positive. You think you're focusing on the positive because you're trying to fly high, but you're focusing on the negative too. And even more so. It's just beneath the surface or beneath your consciousness right now. Some of you may be conscious of it, but I feel like most of you are not. So make sure that whenever you do think about this opportunity or this person, that you are focusing on it by focusing on the benefits of it. Not the cost, not the hurt, but the benefits. So partially focus on that, The other part is focused on something completely different that excites you, that brings you joy and happiness, and that makes you feel connected to your soul. Because the closer you feel to your soul, the more things are going to work out for you overall in your life. Because when you're aligned with your soul, then you're activating your soul and you're activating those desires that your soul has, the ones that are really going to fulfill you. And when you activate that, it radiates into your aura. That becomes a very attractive force. So not only does it bring those things to you, but you also are aware of them. You notice them more and you appreciate them more. Now, your soul desires could be big things, but it could also be little things that your mind might think are too little. Like, I really want to go hang out with my friends at a coffee shop. Simple, right? You could just call your friends and make that happen. I don't need my soul to make that happen. But it's so trivial that you might not even think about it. You might not think it's worth it. You might not think it's good enough to really want. Well, that's too small. I'd rather use my powers for something greater and grander. But as you activate your soul, these kinds of experiences will just start happening for you, whether you plan them or not. And as that happens, you're going to feel better and more whole, and they're going to happen in perfect timing, really good timing. And not only will it be coffee with your friends, but they may say the right thing, give you the right advice that you didn't even know that you needed. That then completely transforms your path forward and brings you even more. Scorpio, I think the things that you want are going to happen and very quickly. I get the numbers 2 and 3. I think it's 2 to 3 weeks. Could be months, but I'm feeling 2 to 3 weeks. Whatever has been wronged will be righted, will be corrected, will be balanced out again. Know that this happens on both sides. So if this is love or any kind of relationship, if this is work, maybe there was an issue that happened at work. You're worried that maybe you're going to lose something. You feel like you've tried and put so much into a company and they're not appreciating it. You might feel like you're on your last leg or the last straw with them. Whatever has happened, things will be righted, but know that it will be on both sides. So, because it always takes two to tango in all these situations. So if there is a person that's going to come to apologize to you, there are going to be things for you to also rectify with them. I do feel like your thoughts about this are beneath your consciousness. So this is the High Priestess, which is about spiritual, what is in the unconscious. And it's also in the bottom row, which tells me that it's not only is the unconscious showing up, but it's in your unconscious too. So you may be thinking about your desires more negatively than you realize that you are. And so you're splitting your energy on that. And so you're getting slower results. So focus on the things that you want, but focus on the things that you're going to get out of it, the benefits, the good feelings you will get. And then again, the other half of the time, focus on something that excites you and brings you joy. And both of those will help you think about things in a way that's going to be productive and get you the kinds of results that you're looking for. Scorpio, what you're learning right now is emotional balance, right? If you are that bird that's been trying to fly, and if this is the last time you'll be able to do that, if it doesn't work out, then you're going to give up. Then Scorpio, that means that there's something going on within you that needs to be resolved, because the soul, the spirit, is a survivor. It's not just our physical body that gets into survival mode. Our soul does not get into survival mode, but our soul survives, it thrives. And not only does it thrive in this lifetime, it transcends all lifetimes, right? It's always moving forward. So if there's a part of you that wants to give up, that is not in alignment with your soul. That means that your soul is being clouded in some way. It's being dimmed in some way, and that needs to be resolved. That means that there's something you're going after that doesn't really serve you. You're chasing after something that isn't bringing you the joy or won't bring you the joy that you actually want. Or you're focusing on something or an aspect of something that isn't going to give you what you're looking for. So maybe if it's a person or a job, maybe there's an aspect that you really want to bring back. I really love this about that person. But if I don't get that, if it doesn't work out this time, I'm just going to give up on ever getting that kind of quality in a person again. But see, your soul, if it was a true soul desire, it would never give up. It would always have that fire of hope. So that means that whatever that quality is, maybe you're valuing it in a way or from an angle that doesn't really serve you, or you're valuing it more than you should. And maybe there's something about that person or that situation that is of value to you that maybe you should focus on more than the aspects you currently are focusing on. But there's something that's making you feel like you don't deserve something. That's why you'll give up if it doesn't work out this time. And you could say, well, it's because I've tried a bunch of times and it hasn't worked out, and that's why. Maybe it's just not meant for me. But it's deeper, Scorpio. It's deeper than that. Because if it was truly that, and it wasn't something deeper in your soul or in your spirit, you would be like, okay, this isn't working out for me, but like, I know I'm going to get that from somebody else or some other opportunity. Like, I know it'll work out maybe in a different configuration than I had planned, but I know I'm going to get it one way or another. I'm going to be satisfied. Like, there would be some part of you that'd be like, well, there's more fish in the sea, whether it's for job or whether it's for people. So the fact that it's not that means that it's deeper. Sorry. We're releasing energy as we're talking about this. I felt the shift. I don't think you should go too crazy on doing the deeper work this month. If you want to, I think that's fine to start that way. But if it starts making you feel worse, put it to the side until July. July feels like a brighter month for you, Scorpio. So that would be a good time to delve into some of this because you'll be more balanced then. But if you want to right now, if you're like, no, I feel kind of called to do this, then go for it. But if you start feeling a lot worse, this is not the time then. If you start getting revelations and those revelations inspire you and open you up and make you feel like you can breathe even better, you feel more relaxed, then you can keep going. But gifts await you, Scorpio. Whatever the specific thing is, I think you can get it. Like I was saying before, I feel like you can get it. But you do need to let go of your detachment. If not now, then definitely even when you get it. Because that attachment, sorry, you need to let go of the attachment. Because that attachment is going to create havoc. Attachment always does. Now, if it's a person, that doesn't mean that you don't love the person. And if it's a person, you may go through many series of having to be more balanced. Because it's an onion that just, healing's one of those things that feels amazing, but also is kind of annoying because it's like this cycle. You're like, I thought I was already done with that. It's like, well, you were done with that version of the cycle, but now we're coming back around. But yeah, right now, Scorpio, you feel alone. You feel like the burden is on you. Part of you wants something new, something different. Part of you is really like you're flying. But you're going to get the things that you're looking for. That's what I see. But you need to just stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard. Focus on finding that balance. Focus on, letting go of attachment. Again, like with love or with career, with anything, you can love the thing that you want. You can be excited about it. And you can get attached. That's kind of the journey, right? We love something, we get attached. Then we have to learn to kind of detach a little bit. And then we love these other things and we get attached. We have to learn to detach a little bit. So it's okay to be attached. It's just important to know when it's time for you to close that cycle and detach a little bit. And then you can get reattached from a more balanced place. Because every time you detach, it doesn't mean that you cut the person out. It doesn't mean that it comes to an ending. It just means that you're gaining balance again because you went into like enjoyment mode a lot. And then now you're getting balance and perspective. And you're strengthening yourself. Because when we get attached, we're giving our energy over too much to something else. And so then we need to sometimes regain that balance. So that then when we get attached again, we're coming from more balance than before. So this is definitely a lesson of balance for you this month, Scorpio. Know that you're going to get the things that you want. But right now it's time for you to let go a little bit, rest a little bit, think about how you actually think about the things that you want, and is it really as positive as you think you've been thinking about? Or are there negative things that are happening in your brain that you don't even realize? Or when you think about the thing that you want, you also think, but it'll never happen, or but it'll also come with this. Because if you're doing that, then you're thinking about both sides. This month, think about the side that you do want more of. So your energy's not split. So you can bring this into your life. Is this thing worth bringing back into your life? Yes. Yes, it is. I feel good about this person or this opportunity. I do. I feel like there's still things to learn with them. If it's a person, I think you two can be together 2 to 3 years. Could be longer, but I do feel like right now that this person is somebody that's here to kind of teach you about some of the dark aspects of your own mind, bring it to the surface so that you can resolve them and free yourself of them. Once that happens, could you two still continue? Yes, I think so. But as the energy sits right now, I think it's basically like more of a 2 to 3 year thing, but that can definitely change. But don't focus on changing that right now. Focus on the lesson right now. And then maybe once the reuniting has happened, you guys have been together for a few months or maybe a year and things have started to stabilize, that's when you can come back. Be like, okay, I would like this to go beyond my growing and my healing. I would like us to continue to grow together. And then you can start bringing that about. So Scorpio, you're going to get what you're looking for. You are. It's going to come faster than you think. But just make sure that you are being honest with yourself about how you truly perceive things right now. Be okay with detaching. It does not mean losing love or passion. It only means having that same love and passion, but from a more balanced perspective and place. Because again, when we are too attached, it creates a burden on the other person. And also remember that it takes two to tango. So if you're overly attached in one way, they may be overly attached in the same way or a different way. So definitely a journey that we all take together. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much. I hope this served you, and I will catch you in the next one.